Bright Duty. Every student matters.
Hello everyone, my name is Anima De and today we are going to do a topic in chemistry of class 9, matter in our surrounding. So the name of the topic is matter in our surroundings. Now it is a very interesting chapter because it gives us an understanding of what matter is and what is the nature of the matter that we see around us. Now the question is, what is matter? When you look around yourself, you would see that there are various kinds of things you can observe in and around. It can be a drop of water that you see, the plants, then animals, the human beings, car, any sort of vehicle, any living, non-living, everything that you see around you, they are actually nothing but matter. Now what is matter? Usually till so far you have learned that matter is something which occupies space, has volume and also has mass. Is matter all this? What is its nature? What is its kind? What are its properties, its characteristics? This is what we are going to study today. Fine. So let's start with it. Matter, as I told you, that matter is something that occupies space and has mass. This is what we had understood about matter so far. Whether it is in the gaseous state or in the solid state or it is in the liquid state. Now there has been a lot of time, right from the ancient period of time, there had been a lot of research work going on. There were some scientists, some philosophers, some thinkers who thought that matter is something which is made up of the 5 elements that we see around us. Now what are these 5 elements? They considered it as air, water, fire, earth and sky. All these things mixed together composed of matter. This is what their thought was all about. Gradually it came into existence that no, matter cannot be just taken all these things into account as and explained as matter. Matter is basically either it can be something which is continuous or it is fragmented. Now what do you mean by, there were 2 schools of thought that considered matter to be either in a form of a block as a whole sum, or there was another school of thinkers who thought that matter actually consists of small particles. Now let's analyze it further and see what is it all about. Now when we talk about matter, as I told you, that there are 2 ways that we think about matter. Either we discuss about the physical characteristic of matter or we discuss about the chemical characteristic of matter. In later classes, in higher classes, we are going to do the chemical aspect of matter. Now we are more interested into the physical aspect of matter. That what is matter, what are its physical properties. Now every time when matter was analyzed, when there were a lot of experimentation, what was done, it was understood that matter actually consists of very small particles. As I told you, that the physical nature of matter was one school of thought considered matter to be a block, a continuous block, whereas there was another school of thought who thought that matter is composed of particles. And we do have, when we carry out various experiments, we find that the block nature of matter was discarded later on, and it is that matter is in the form of particles. So it is the particle nature of matter that was accepted by the thinkers in the ancient time, and gradually with lot of experimentation we have found that yes, matter exists in the form of very small particles. Let us show an activity to show the particulate nature of matter. Now let's see what is the method for carrying out this activity. Fill 3/4 of the beaker with tap water. Mark the level of water in the beaker with a marker pen, or we can also use a strip of brown sellotape. And after that, pour some common salt in the beaker. And we stir the content of the beaker with a glass rod or a spoon. And we record the observation. Now let us try to answer the following questions. The first question can be, question number 1 can be, what happened to the common salt initially? 2, what happened to the common salt on stirring? The third question, what happened to the level of water in the beaker after the activity is over? Fourth, where does the common salt go? So the answer can be, the common salt settled at the base of the beaker as if it were a continuous form of matter. Second, on stirring, the common salt disappeared, that is, it dissolved in water. This dissolving or disappearance of common salt in water suggests that common salt is not one continuous state of matter. Instead, it is made of extremely small particles. The water breaks down the common salt into so small particles that they are no longer visible to the eyes. The answer to the third one, the level of water in the beaker does not rise or fall. This suggests that particles of common salt get dispersed in water. This also suggests that there must be some hollow spaces in water. This implies that water by itself is not continuous, but is made of extremely small particles which are not visible to the eye. And the answer to the fourth question is, the extremely small particles of common salt position themselves in the small spaces between the particles of water. This also accounts for the fact that the level of water does not rise because the particles of common salt do not displace it but occupy the small spaces in between the particles of water. So I hope this gives an explanation for all the questions what we had put up after carrying out the activity.